Hello guys and welcome to another video. My name's Mark, I'm an entrepreneur and property investor. In today's video we're going to be talking about my videographer Tom and his plans to become a multi-millionaire in 10 years, financially free and a millionaire in 5. And what I want to do today is just give an idea of one of the routes that anybody could take that would almost guarantee that level of success. Now, I know that's a bold statement right at the beginning of a video that we can almost guarantee that level of success, but I believe it to be true. So if you like this sort of content, please give this video a big like. It really does help me out with the algorithm. And if you haven't already subscribed, why not consider subscribing? So we're sat currently, myself and Tom, in Dubai. He's behind the camera, obviously. And what I wanted to do was just have a quick chat about his plan to becoming a multimillionaire. Now, we set in motion about 8 weeks ago a plan for Tom to start to build his life up and to first of all become financially free, i.e. to lose his dependency on needing to go to work, and then second of all to become wealthy. And I consider wealthy the next level on from financial independence. So how are we going to achieve it? What's the plan for Tom? How is he going to make that happen? Well, the first thing we needed to really do was get control of his expenses. So he did the very sensible thing and left his girlfriend. That can drastically, can I use that, yeah?
What?
Well, that alone drastically reduced his expenses overnight. And while I'm not saying that's an amazing plan, that was Tom's plan. And Tom has managed to slash his spending and move from what is a very expensive house where he's having to split the bills to a shared accommodation where his bills are much, much less. And that has started him on the journey to having this big spread between income and expenses. Now, Tom won't mind me saying I pay Tom a good salary. I wouldn't say it's massive salary at all, but it's a good salary. It's above average in the UK. However, that alone is not going to be enough to get Tom to financial freedom. So he's on top of that doing overtime and extra work and personal projects in order to build himself up and to increase his income. And in overtime and all the rest that he's doing, he's managed to earn on average an extra £400 a week. So that brings Tom's salary up significantly and gives him a lot to invest. So he's dropped his expenses by a couple of £1,000s a month. He's increased his income by a couple of £1,000s a month. Well, guess what? Tom has now got about £40,000–50,000 a year to invest, and he has started. So let's talk about where Tom's putting that money, what Tom's plan for that money is in the future, and whether or not anybody watching this, I mean, Tom's young, Tom's 25 years old, so he hasn't got any dependents, he hasn't got any real commitments, so it's fairly easy for him to make these big decisions and to just grind it out for 5 to 10 years. And I believe for most men, our lives don't really begin until we're 30 anyway. At 30, you're mature enough, you've got enough financial backing, hopefully, to be able to achieve things, you become more attractive. You know, our lives tend to begin a little bit later on. And for me, I certainly found that at 30, I had a lot more going for me than at 20. So Tom, willing to put the next 5 years on the line to build up his financial pot and become more and more wealthy. So how's he doing it? First of all, he's opened up a HL LISA, and he's put the maximum he can for this year in that. That's £4,000. He's going to receive a bonus of another £1,000 from the government. And the reason he's done this is it allows him to use that against buying a property, and he's got a 25% return straight away just by putting it in a LISA wrapper. So from £4,000 to £5,000, got an extra £1,000 straight away, and April next year he can do the same again, and he very much will. So that will be £10,000 sat in his LISA ready to buy his first property. And the plan for his first property, if we just take the LISA money, is that he's going to buy a flat or a house and he's going to rent out a spare bedroom. So at the moment he's living in shared accommodation, he's going to go from paying a landlord the money, he's going to go from that to being the landlord and renting out a spare bedroom or spare bedrooms, whichever is applicable. Now, worst case scenario, he's probably going to be able to live in his flat for less than he's currently paying and benefit from capital appreciation and benefit from paying off the mortgage and all those other lovely juicy things. However, best case scenario, we might be able to find something where we'll turn a small profit. And remember, in the UK, lodgers relief, you manage to get the first £7,000 a year completely tax-free. So that's a big incentive for Tom to rent out his spare bedroom. I believe that will be the quickest way for him to get on the property ladder, for him to start benefiting from capital appreciation, and for him to take that pay rise where people start paying him, because he can use a smaller deposit on a personal residence. Guys, sorry to interrupt this video, but I wanted to give you this information, and I promise it'll be no more than 15 seconds. If you want to have a free one-to-one consultation with me, a quick chat about anything at all you need to do is click the link in the description. It will give you a quick form, fill out your details, Tom will get in contact and book it into my calendar with me, then we can have a free consultation. I'm doing this for anybody who wants to talk to me until I get to 10,000 subscribers. So guys, let's get back to the video, but fill in the form, have a chat. So that's play number one, if you like. Now, I did mention that he's got this big spread between income and expenses, and some of it's obviously going to go on tax, some because he's earning all this extra money, he's going to have to pay some extra tax. But some of it also is going to go way beyond buying his first property. And at the moment, he's just putting that into an ISA. And an ISA is your individual savings allowance. He's using a stocks and shares ISA from Hargreaves Lansdown. And again, he's just rolling up the money because Tom's chosen method of building a business, if you like, is to do it in property. So I've given him the options. I've said, look, you can build a business which you own and control. So he's a great videographer. He could do freelance videographer stuff. He could then build a company. He could have staff work for him. He could try and work for other companies, you know, all that sort of juicy stuff, and build a business like that. He could invest his way using stocks and shares. Now that obviously doesn't apply leverage, or he can use property, and property would apply leverage. And when he looked at the options and risk, he decided that property for him had the lowest amount of risk, because if you start a business, you put all your money into this. This can go bust at any point in time, lose the lot. So that is an option, but it comes with a high risk. Stocks and shares, you have no leverage, so the risk is reduced, but the returns are also a bit lower. So ultimately, you can only ever really get about 10% a year. And if you're going to do that with 20, 30,000 pounds a year, it's going to take you 10, 15, 20 years, probably 20 to get to £1 million. In Tom's instance, when we've done the maths, we believe he can get there much quicker using leverage through property. And property is going to be the way that he's going to do that over the next 5 years. So Tom's aim in year one is to buy his personal residence, and we're going to hold him to account on this channel and make sure he has personal residence in year one and the first investment property in year one. And that's likely to be somewhere up near Sheffield because it's an area that we know well. He can get himself a nice 3-bedroom, 10% return on investment, maybe 12, 130, 140,000 pounds in, going to need about 30 to 40 grand of his own money, which he's going to be able to get in the first 12 months, alongside buying that first property, which is likely to be in Newbury, somewhere like that, because it's close to his office in the UK. Obviously, I'm in Dubai, so that our work together is very remote. However, his office is in the UK in Newbury, so it makes sense to be nice and local to that. Also, the overtime he does for my business, and let's be clear, it's nothing glamorous. Tom is driving a taxi. That is not a glamorous bit of overtime, but does it add 2 grand a month to his income? Yes. Does it swallow up a lot of his time? Of course. That is the exchange of value. That is the risk that he's taking, that if I spend 5 years doing this, this will be my outcome at 30. And I believe for most people in their 20s, it's a risk worth taking, because myself, I wasted my 20s. I just went out and partied. I could have had a lot more fun with a lot more money in my 30s. So I think it's a risk worth taking. But let me know in the comments your thoughts, because there are two sides to this argument. He could die tomorrow and have wasted his life driving a taxi. Or he could live on to his late 80s, 90s and have an amazing life with all the money he amassed in his 20s. Let's see which one plays out. I'm hoping he doesn't die. We're both hoping he becomes successful, and I'm sure he will. But let's stay tuned on this channel. We're going to go through that first purchase as it happens. And guys, I can't wait to take you on that journey, because it's going to happen very, very soon. Guys, stay tuned, like and subscribe as always. Thank you for watching. Cheers, guys.